Hey there, and good day, everybody. I'm Steve Farrell, a co-founder and the executive director of Humanities Team. I'm coming to you live from our studio in Boulder, Colorado, and you can see who I've got on the screen here with me, my special guest today. Woo! Yay! Oh, Christy Whitman. I'm going to give her an introduction, a proper introduction here shortly. Christy, thank you for being with us, coming in from Scottsdale, Arizona. Lucky Christy.
Thank you, Steve. I'm always so happy to be with you. I love our time together.
Oh boy, back at you. Yeah, wow. Always such a pleasure. So thanks for being with us today. Really appreciate it. So, and it's a live program. So just shout out first to Christy Whitman's audiences, her friends all over the world, our Humanities Team Stream Plus friends that are here in the studio with us. Shout out to you guys, Humanities Team friends, the Sign Network, John Raymer. So shout out to all of you. Thank you all for being with us. We're coming in a little later today. We're 3 hours later, 12 Pacific today, because we wanted to arrange this special program. Christy's got something in the morning, so we're just real happy to be here doing this program a little later today. So it's live, and so as always, I want to invite you to put your comments and your questions in the chat. Right here in the studio, these questions and comments and things are brought back to me, and I'll get as many of them to Christy as I can during the hour. So our theme here today is quantum light shifts. A pretty neat thing. We're going to get to a lot of fun stuff, actually. But the thing we actually want to start with here as we get going, we're kind of honoring today's world where, as we know, there's a fair amount of challenge, right? In today's world, even unfortunately disempowerment, where we've got just all of these things going on, China and Ukraine and Russia and extreme weather and these things, and it can kind of wear people down, as we know. So Christy and I were chatting here before coming on the air, and she was sharing, hey, let's talk about self-compassion, and I said, great, wow, what a great place to start, in today's world. So Christy, yeah. And Christy Whitman, of course, is with the council, so which is very special. We're going to be bringing in the council, who also has messages to share here. So Christy, let's jump right in here and talk about self-compassion.
Yeah, so self-compassion, when you think about it, we're not taught how to have self-compassion. And if you look at it from a vibrational, energetic experience, like a piano keyboard, right? There's different high notes, there's low notes, there's many notes in between. Every note, every key has a vibration, just like emotions. And the high notes or the high vibrations are love and joy. And a lot of times when people are in fear, they can't find that connection to love or well-being or joy or abundance. If they're in worry, if they're in fear, they're on the lower side of the vibrations of the notes. And what I have obviously studied for 28 years and I've been coaching on for the last 20 years is the mentality, the difference between lack versus abundance. And whenever we're in a place where we are feeling bad, we are in lack. Now, what do you mean we are in lack? Our consciousness is in lack. We're focused on our consciousness either through the words that we speak, the thoughts that we think, the perspectives or the images the pictures that we hold in our minds, the emotions that we either feel or don't feel, and then the actions that we take. And from those places, just even thoughts, if we're thinking thoughts that are of competition, judgment, we're afraid, we're looking at the worldview as doom and gloom, when maybe you're not even focused on Ukraine or China or any of that stuff. Maybe in your own household, you have a teenager, right? That you're having a struggle with, or maybe I've been hearing this so much. I just had a Sedona retreat and a healing event this past week in Scottsdale, obviously in Sedona. And so many women are dissatisfied with their own bodies, and just that sense of not feeling good, not feeling well, we have a hard time functioning when we don't feel well, when we feel depleted, exhausted. And all of that comes from that place of lack. And lack just doesn't feel good. So anything that doesn't feel good, any of those spectrums of emotions, fear, doubt, worry, shame, guilt, anger, resentment, disappointment, when we are resonating with those emotions and we are not processing those emotions, then we stay stuck in those emotions, right? And we try to compensate or overdo or, try to prove ourselves or people please or, drive and strive just to get out of the negative feelings. Well, compassion for ourselves, because we can't give away what we don't have internally, compassion for ourselves, if we're struggling with something and we start to feel compassion, like, just like a big warm hug, compassion from an energetic perspective, from a mindset, it's everything's going to be okay. I know this is hard right now. This too shall pass. This is a constant, total changing universe that we're in. So this thing right now that's really got you bothered, by changing your perspective, by changing your energy, by looking at something different, by having compassion, it will change. And that, what I find, especially working with most human beings, is we're so critical and we're so hard on ourselves. And if we make a mistake or we take a misstep or we, something that we planned doesn't turn out exactly how we planned, we tend to beat ourselves up. And that is not productive. So self-compassion takes you away from the judgment. It takes you away from persecuting yourself. It takes you away from the criticism. And it just allows you to feel that neutral energy. It's like if you hurt yourself and someone comes over and strokes your hair or caresses your back, or if a baby's crying, you hold the baby. It's okay. You rock the baby, right? This is compassion. And so to do that for ourselves, I'm afraid right now. It's like, okay, just let yourself feel that fear, be aware of it, and let yourself have that compassion for that fear, for that exhaustion, for that it didn't work out, for that anger you have because you're not getting what you wanted. When you allow yourself to feel that compassion, it neutralizes you off of the negative emotions, it changes the vibration, changes the momentum, and then it starts the opening for higher, other more expanded emotions. Because for years I've been talking about how lack always feels bad and abundance always feels good. And if we're talking about the law of sufficiency and abundance, it's not the law of abundance, it's the law of sufficiency and abundance. When we are allowing ourselves to feel that this moment right here is enough. I've got my breath, I'm alive, I've got water to drink, I've got food in my belly, I've got someone to hug, looking for what you do have, and that feeling that compassion for what you don't yet have opens up the doorway to create with a very different vibration, because that is the doorway through abundance.
Yeah, beautiful, boy. And your work is so important because it is about this that we're energetic beings, of course, which means that we're vibrational beings, which means that where we are on that vertical axis, really low down here where you get sick and things, and really high vibration up here where you're joy and laughter and we're in service, loving service, and all of these cool things. It's so important, and yet we were brought up, most of us, where this just wasn't something that was talked about at all. In fact, it was just, now you be good, and that, deity in the sky will notice, and then you're going to get, some reward. I mean, just as, we're just pointed in this direction.
The proverbial carrot.
Right. It just doesn't help us out at all. Boy, if we're gonna live consciously, we're a humanities team is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our whole thing, we say, make conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040 in 18 years. And if we're going to live consciously, boy, this is one, this is such a crucial one that we really, that we're energetic, vibrational beings, and we pay attention, which means intention and practice are two really important things here too. Christy, when we talk about living?
Practice is everything.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Steve. Practice is everything. You can know a lot of things, but if you don't apply it, it's like you can know how to drive a car, but if you don't get in one and push the button or turn the key, and do it, you're actually not going to drive a car. Just because you know something, you know how to drive a car, but unless you get in the car, you're not going to get from point A to point B. We are living in a physical universe where we are the physical action takers of the divine. We're in a collaboration. The divine can't send an email. The divine can't do this interview, right? And yet it is at the same time, because it's doing it through me, because I'm taking action. I showed up. My physical body showed up to be able to receive the information, to then be able to express that information. So we have to show up in our own lives. And sometimes showing up means sitting and crying because you just feel sad. It might mean canceling your day because you're exhausted and letting yourself have that self-compassion, letting yourself have rest. The other day, I think it was Monday, just getting off of huge service work and holding a lot of energy, I woke my kids up in the morning to drive them to school. And I turned to my husband, I said, I want to go back to bed. And he said, I got him. So I went back to bed. I slept until 10:15 in the morning. It was wonderful. I needed that, right? Because sometimes, like you said, we're so programmed to just push and go through and drive through and, and just suck it up or whatever, like, stop crying. I'll give you something to cry about. So we just move forward and we don't take ourselves with us. And that's where that self-compassion comes in, right? Letting yourself go, I'm tired today. I need to rest. And then giving yourself that rest. I'm feeling off right now. Let me just go within, take a few minutes to breathe, connect with that part of me that's living me. That's when meditation is so powerful, to just turn inward, turn off the noise of the outer world, go within and allow yourself to just fill up with that ever expanding resource of energy and everything else. So.
Amen. So, and let me do this. In fact, I was so excited to jump right in to this conversation with Christy that I didn't read her intro. So, and I'm going to read it now. And the reason I want to read it now, even though we're well into the program, is for people that don't know Christy Whitman, I want you to really understand the mastery that she's at here in this area. And she really is at mastery. So let me just read this introduction quickly. So Christy Whitman is a spiritual channel, law of attraction life coach, transformational leader, and two-time New York Times best-selling author. Christy is also the CEO and founder of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy and has helped thousands of people from around the world achieve their goals through empowerment seminars, speeches, coaching sessions, and products. Christy channeled her first book on the 7 principles of the law of attraction through a series of spiritual downloads that completely changed her life. Since then, she has developed a powerful relationship with a group of spiritual mentors that she channels called the Council. Today, Christy and the Council are joining me to discuss quantum light shifts and how we can implement these radical transformations to bring about greater love, prosperity, and happiness for ourselves and the planet at large. So, again, wow, with everything going on in today's world, isn't this wonderful? We've got Christy here who's at mastery in just really, really important dimensions of what this whole conscious journey is. So let's, Christy, let's go over to our theme here, which is a powerful theme, quantum life shifts. So can you share with us, what are we talking about here?
So the Council gives me my assignments. The first assignment that I got was quantum energy mastery, because their biggest message is that we all know this, Steve, right? It's like that example we gave of, you might know how to drive a car, but are you getting in the car to drive it? We might have heard over and over again, everything is energy, right? But it's like, to really apply that and to get in and drive that, it's a very different thing. And so Council brought through quantum energy mastery. And that was to help people really be able to master their energy, master their thoughts, master their emotions, and how they're tied together, and to be able to work with the four bodies, not just the physical body, and just so much richness. And there were a lot of people that just for whatever reason were not able to jump into a commitment of 4 months, or doing, whether it's abundance exchange or for whatever reason. And so the council then said to me, I want to create quantum light shifts. And so what quantum light shifts are is they're an hour. We do one a month. They're a 60-minute process. There's no Q&A, but we have a subject, right? So it might be self-compassion. And how do you cultivate that? Why is it important? And doing it not from a let me talk about it, right? But actually feeling it, processing it, integrating it, and activating it. So we have a different theme. It could be self-confidence. It could be releasing fear. It could be releasing shame and guilt. We've done many of them through the years, and we will continue to do more on, creating your best life. Whatever the council says, okay, the culture that is wanting this information, that is attracted to this information, this is what this field of consciousness needs. And so they'll give us the theme, and a lot of times they'll ask me to share from a human perspective how I take what I know and apply that in my life with practical tools and tips and information. And then they come in and then they do the process. So it's really Christy and the council on a certain subject, and they really are named well. They really do name their programs and products really well. It's not me that does it anymore, it's them. And when they created quantum light shifts, I mean, that's really what it feels, because you're in that quantum field and really being able to connect with what you've asked for. So in self-compassion as an example, to be able to feel that, cultivate it, bring it in, and then understand how to relate from it. It literally changes your quantum field. It changes everything in your reality.
Yeah, boy, well, so important, and again, it's such a departure from the way we grew up, where we're not, and this is something, of course, right now, if you're on TikTok and things, that's getting a lot of attention. This whole notion of it's not just in matter, where we can write something, we can hammer something, we can do something in matter. We can in the field, in the quantum field, yes. we can create there, where from Humanity's Team, where we're this 501c3 nonprofit, where it's all about conscious living. One of the things we like to do together is just feel into that future where, Bruce Lipton calls it the heaven on earth, where we're awake, we've been on this awakened journey. We understand, oh my God, I'm a part of the divine. When, in a sense, we're all faces of the one, God, the divine, cosmos, light, love, and of course, once we walk through that door and really know ourselves that way and see the world that way, see others that way, animal life, plant life, the earth herself, wow, it's just a completely different thing, right? We're just in loving service. So this is for me, and I grew up in the Christian church, when Jesus said, be on the earth, but not of the earth. This is, I think he was talking about your quantum field here, where we're just...
As the council says, Jesus Christ was the first energy master, and he was the first teacher of law of attraction, right? So he was the ultimate one to show us, how do you master your energy? Who are you really? And it's interesting, because even from the Jesus Christ perspective, his life was not all rosies and lollipops and unicorns. He had a lot of contrast, right? And so that's the thing, is understanding that life is not, even if you're in the quantum field, even if you meditate every day, there's going to be contrast. There's going to be, like last week, right? I was in full service. I had women and men come in to me going, oh my God, this is so amazing. I mean, it felt so good to be in service. And there was still contrast that I experienced. My son on Friday, between the two, decided he was going to do a backflip in gym class. he doesn't know how to do a backflip. So he landed on his head and he got a concussion. And, you know, he went to the nurse. I had to pick him up. So he's fine. And I'm grateful because we have the council to heal him, his brain trauma. We also know, you know, the top brain specialists in the world because of what I do. And it's like, so grateful for the resources. But that moment as a mom, nobody wants that. That was contrast, right? There was a situation where a team member was supposed to do what she did and she didn't do it. And that created contrast. So it's not about making life perfect, right? That was my first book, Perfect Pictures. Let me try to make and rearrange everything in the outside to make it perfect so that I can feel okay. And it doesn't work. It's exhausting. Right. And it just, you know, it just doesn't work. But when you can look at the contrast, like my son, you know, doing a backflip, hitting his head, going, you know, that kind of stuff, the things that happen, you know, betrayals, things, people hurt your feelings or people say something or whatever any one of you are going through right now, returning back to that self-compassion, because that got me through on Friday. Having compassion for myself as a mother, right? To watch my child to have to go through this, to all that, I just allowed myself to feel self-compassion because then that allows me to give compassion to my son, right? Because if I'm coming from anger, I remember when I would get hurt as a child, right? I remember when I was a kid, I was on the monkey bars and I fell and I hit my face and I had a huge scrape on my, you know, nose and on my forehead. And I came home from school and my dad comes home from work and he starts yelling and screaming at me. What did you do to your face? Your face is all effed up. Oh my God. Like freaking out. And I'm like, I got in trouble for getting hurt, which feels even worse, right? My husband has taught me, like if I get hurt, the other day he had a cabinet open and I had my hat down. I'm a pretty short person, right? I ran right into the cabinet, fell back. It looked like a cartoon thing. He just laid on the floor with me and just let me cry because it hurt. And, you know, just helped me. That was a contrasting moment. And it was like, oh, I felt so soothed. I didn't get yelled at for getting in, you know, I didn't get in trouble for hurting myself. I got soothed, you know, because beating ourselves up over something that we should have done or we, you know, did do, or, you know, it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't make you feel better. It doesn't help you learn anymore. It's definitely not empowering, but compassion is. Yeah, beautiful. Well, wonderful that you're bringing in these personal stories because, of course, these things do happen. You know, there is this contrast. We're in this contextual field where, you know, tall can't be without short and light without dark and all of these things. So we're going to experience these things. And as you mentioned, we're all not just walking around like Jesus, you know, everything. And actually, it wasn't even lollipops, as you mentioned, for Jesus, right? Oh, my God, read his story. So, you know, these things happen. But this is why these practices that you share are so important because they just help you. They're like a compass. They keep you pointed, you know, toward your North Star and help you just pick yourself up with self-compassion and with your partner and with your kids and so on, as these things happen and as they will happen, right, throughout our lives. So beautiful. Well, there's so many things I want to get to here. Again, this hour is going to go so fast. We want to make sure to bring in before the hour's over the council. So I'm going to go to some videotape. We've got some, Christy has 16 programs at the present time on Humanity Stream Plus. This is our streaming platform. It's called Humanity Stream Plus. She has 16 programs, including 3 classes that have many video trainings under each one. So one is called A New Kind of Power. Another one is called Attracting Your Ideal Partner. And a third one is called Creating Money. So, and then there are all of these other programs on Humanity Stream Plus too. I want to go first to A New Kind of Power. This was an amazing masterclass Christy created with a dear friend of ours, Deborah Poneman. So let's go to this clip and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Here we go. The principle of loving. So take a moment to consider this. You already have a relationship with your heartfelt desire. This relationship was forged the moment the idea occurred to you for the very first time. And you have continued to evolve and expand and refine and even amend the desire ever since. You already have a relationship with it energetically, thought form. Think about an important relationship that you have with somebody in your life. What you will discover is that you actually carry a piece of this person's energy with you wherever you go. Your internal relationship with them exists, regardless if you're sitting in the same room with them or if you're thousands of miles away. And the reason your connection with this person is so strong is a result of all the time and attention and intention and even energy that you've invested in the relationship with them. You've nourished this connection with this person by your attention and by your energy. You've spent time contemplating your relationship with them, even when you're apart. You've imagined your future together, what you'll be doing, what you want to experience. You've even recalled positive feelings that you've shared together in the past and anticipated more positive experiences in the future. And all of this has created the relationship you now have with this person. Whatever the state of that relationship, whatever form of that relationship might be. So the next piece of the puzzle in terms of becoming the conscious creator that you were born to be is to nurture each of your desires with the same care and attention that you invest in other important relationships in your life.
Okay, so as you can see, that's on, again, it's on Humanity Stream Plus. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have a one-for-one program. So for each paid subscription, we actually give a free subscription away to an underserved, underprivileged individual. This point that you make here in the video is so crucial. I haven't heard anybody, with all of the interviews we do or programs we've done, focus in on this particular point. It's fascinating that, of course, we're energetic beings, but it's saying, no, we create I'm going to call it a library of these thought, feelings, these expressions that relate to different people, different things we're doing in our life that we carry around, and putting attention to these, so we are creating the relationship with people and professionally and so on that we want to have, is a fascinating point that you make here, Christy.
Everything, again, it goes back to everything is energy, and all relationships start inside of ourselves. So it doesn't matter if it's a relationship with your desire or relationship with another human being. What we practice within the field of our own mind, what we see. If I was going to say to you, Steve, think of a puppy, right? Do you think of the word puppy, or do you have a picture of a puppy in your head?
Yeah, and the energy of a puppy, right? Just jumping and licking and all that.
Right, but you have an actual visual. There's a picture. It's like a movie,
Yeah.
or and everybody else, if we surveyed everybody that was watching right now, everybody would probably have a different picture of a puppy. Some might have a black puppy, some might have a white puppy, some might have a tricolored puppy. It might be a different breed. Everybody has within, when I say the word puppy, it's like they have their own pictures that are developed. So there's an internal relationship with a puppy that's already been programmed, that's already energized, now if someone was attacked by a puppy, right? Because those puppies have their vicious teeth, right? If they were attacked by a puppy, they may be like, I don't like puppies, right? That's their internal programming. That's their limitation. They don't go, ooh, fun puppy. They're like, oh my gosh, I was attacked, right? So it's what our experiences have been. And what our internal relationship is energetically affects the outer, like everything we've been talking about, but we're conjuring. I mean, we have conversations in our minds with people without them even being around. We practice almost a conversation, or how something's going to go, or how we think it's going to go, or maybe the last time or last few times they've been difficult to be with. So now we're expecting them to be difficult. We're expecting to have a hard time in relating with them. And that expectation feeds into that energetic relationship, which will then ultimately form in the outer, because as within, so without.
Right. So we got to do the work. Yeah. So got to do the work. So this is, again, this masterclass is called a New Kind of Power. So all of you Humanity Stream Plus members, boy, if you haven't gone through this program, check it out. It is a fabulous program. Christy Whitman and Deborah Poneman, A New Kind of Power. And for people that are not Humanity Stream Plus members, there's a free program they created. It's called Become the Conscious Creator of Your Own Life. Become the conscious creator of your own life, and invite you to, it's an hour-long program. It's astounding. Go through it, check it out. You're going to get, there's lots of tools for your tool set in this hour-long program. And I just want to say what we're talking about again, Conversations with God. Of course, Neil Donald Walsh is an important co-founder of Humanity's Team, his 9-book Conversations with God series. And the thing that is shared over and over throughout the series is that metaphysics is the linchpin of the universe.
Yes.
The linchpin of the universe. Well, guess we are talking about metaphysics here. It's all this whole, it's this energetic understanding we're energetic beings, vibrational beings, and then feeling into this future that we're creating. For me, yes, it makes it a lot easier to do that, where Humanity's Team is in service where we just want to, for ourselves and our kids and future generations, we just want to create this conscious world. And this saying, give yourself to the kingdom, and then all things are done unto you. I think many of us have experienced that. We experience that in Humanity's Team because this is really what it's about. And so that means, boy, paying attention to metaphysics, really just putting it out there in a pure way, just being in service in a pure way, and then seeing and feeling people all over the world, laughing and being healthy and well-being and all of these things, which is the world that we can create. It's what's actually out in these highly evolved beings and these other out in the cosmos. This is how they live their lives. It's what we got to do a little work to get there. And that's why I'm here with Christy, because we're talking about the work that we need to do, aren't we, Christy?
When you really think about it, it's our divine design. Just like we know, I got a nose, I got 2 eyes, I got 1 mouth. None of us are walking around with 5 mouths, thank God, or 4 ears or tail or beak, or we're divinely designed as human beings. All of us, every single one of us, look different, right? But we all have the same basics. It's blueprinted. The details. It's like having a bunch of houses you create that are the same exact floor plans, but once the people move in there and they put their energy and they put their flavor and they put their preferences and they choose, the paint colors and the floor tiles, all the houses look different, even though the basics was the same. And so for each of us, we're all unique and different. And what's similar, though, is that we have, each one of us that are alive, that divine connection. We have individualized divine flowing through us. It's our life force. It's what I can move my hand. It's beating my heart. I'm breathing. I can think. I can communicate. These are all signs that we are alive. And that part of us that is alive, the divine design on an energetic perspective is of well-being. So when we are in fullness and alignment with our well-being, disease or viruses or anything else can't touch it. It's like MC Hammer, can't touch it. No. It just can't touch us, because we're just in this space of pure light, pure wellness, wholeness. Nothing's separate from us. Nothing's missing. And even though you might go, well, I don't have the money, or I don't have the partner, or I don't have the kid, or that's missing from my life. We create from the wholeness. And when we can align with that truth, one piece of that divine design of wholeness and wellness, the rest of the divine design is abundance. You could look at nature to see. I had a woman the other day said, I'm terrified at the healing event. She was terrified because there's not enough water in the world. And the council was like, who says so? You have oceans that haven't even been explored yet. There's more water out there than you could possibly need. But it's the mind that goes, there's not enough, which then takes us out of alignment and out of our divine design. When we really believe that there is enough water and that in my lifetime, your lifetime, my kid's lifetime, we're still going to have all that we need, that's what we're creating. That's what's real. That's what's already been created. But we create from our beliefs. So as I mentioned before, our words, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, and our actions, those are the filters through which we have our houses, right? Those are the filters through which we paint the walls and we decorate the way we want to, and the preferences and the belief. All of that creates our own house. So what you're believing about your own physical body, if you're not thinking and aligning with thoughts of well-being and wholeness, then you're going to create something that is opposing that. So I hear women all the time say, I'm so tired of my weight. I can't lose weight. You know, I helped women get back into alignment. And then I just had a woman lost 50 pounds and has kept it off for almost 2 years now. You know, so, or people get out of migraines or fibromyalgia or, you know, just whatever ails them, because even beyond science, there's life.
Yeah.
That life is the divine. It's well, it's abundant, it's successful, it's whole, it's love, it's support, it's freedom. It's all of the vibrations on the higher end of the spectrum. And we have access to that all the time just by connecting with our very breath. As we breathe in, that's what the divine represents. Are we tuned into our divine, or are we tuned into what's wrong with us, or what's not working, or what we don't have, or what we're separated from?
And this means overcoming, again, the way almost all of us grew up, because it's just where we're looking out that rear view mirror instead of in the windshield, you know, into our divine design, you know, into the truth of who we are. So let me, there's a second little video I want to go to. This is, as I mentioned, Christy has 3 programs on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. Another one is called Attracting Your Ideal Partner. So we're going to go to a little clip here where Christy talks about that whole energetic process. So we're going to come back and talk about it. Here we go.
I first want to create a basis of understanding about how this process works, because everything you'll learn here has to do with deliberately applying the universal laws that govern the process of manifestation. There are really only 3 main principles that you need to understand. The first principle is that everything in our physical universe is made up of energy. This includes things like buildings, trees, furniture, which look and feel solid to our perception. And it also includes things like thoughts, emotions that are more subtle and intangible. Now, I know you probably heard this dozens of times, but I really want you to get it, not as just a concept in your head, but as an experience that takes place at a cellular level in your body. Everything is made of energy. The chair that you're sitting on right now is made of dense energy, but it's still energy. We know from quantum physics that even our physical bodies, which appear to be solid and well-defined, are made up almost entirely of energy. So everything that you are, your body, your breath, your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, your beliefs, and all your desires, the base of all of it is energy. So just go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. And notice that you can actually feel the energy that is pulsating throughout your body, that's moving along with your breath. This energy is the very basis of everything that you perceive to be solid or material. Everything is made up of energy. So you can open your eyes now.
Okay, my eyes are back open. So that's attracting your ideal partner. That was just we're just starting to take these stepping stones out into that process where she's describing energy. But And then you go all the way into how we can attract our ideal partner.
Yes.
This program is amazing. There's another one, Creating Money, which is the same thing, where she's taking those stepping stones out into energetically this place of abundance and sufficiency. And these are amazing programs, along with this other one called the one with Deborah Poneman. So A New Kind of Power.
I love Deborah.
A New Kind of Power.
Deborah's
so,
amazing.
Amazing programs. So this hour is getting away from us, and I want to just invite, the council would it be okay for, 5 or 10 minutes?
Yes.
Could we, because Larry,
Of course. I'll go get
one of the people on your Facebook page is saying, can everyone speak to the council? So I know it takes a moment to kind of shift into that place. Maybe the council can come through, because this is really magnificent. As Christy mentioned, she kind of puts herself as a leverage mechanism for the council, for their wisdom. She brings their wisdom through in powerful ways. So here, just take a minute, and the council is going to speak to us. This is really a gift.
We are here. Hello, dear one. Hello to all of you that are listening right now. We are grateful that we have the opportunity to remind each of you how truly powerful you are. Each one of you has been given a big, beautiful brain. And those brains, they want to keep you safe. They want you to expand. It wants you to create. It's been given the capacity to create through the mental pictures, and then through your mental body to feel your way in to those pictures. That's just one way. If you visualize what you want, what you desire, and then you feel the connection, then you have two of your bodies, your mental body and your emotional body, in alignment. And of course, as the mind and the body and the emotions come together, the physical body has a reaction. The cells change. There's a different vibration, a different frequency than you give out. And of course, then that affects your energy body. Now, all of you that are here, you've heard about law of attraction or the universal laws. Christy was talking about one of them earlier. What you send out, it comes back. And when people are new to law of attraction, what I can deliberately manifest what I want. Wonderful. I want the guy. I'll think about the guy. How wonderful to create the guy. And you give off these vibrations to help you attract the guy. And then you get the guy. And then a lot of times they can't keep the guy because they didn't have that energy solidified in their energy container. What you send out is only one aspect, because the biggest part is that who and what are you all connected to? Pure positivity. You get to choose your frequencies. You get to bring in by choice, free will, all of you have. You get to bring in that energy by your choice, love, freedom, joy. Imagine as if the creator, the one that is breathing you, the one that you are always energetically connected to, as you decide, I want to feel free, or whatever you all want to feel. Imagine that you are now having a downpouring of light, of the vibration of freedom. If you were in a freedom bubble, you were really in the consciousness of freedom, what would you be saying? What would you be thinking? Choose some words. I am free. State it out loud. I am free. Those thoughts of I am free, let that resonate within your body and let your emotional body, your feelings start to feel that sense of freedom. What does it feel like in your physical body, in your whole entire energy container, to feel free? Free of discomfort, free of the weight, free of the struggle, free of the resistance, free of the pain. Feel as if even that energy dissipates the pain, dissipates the discomfort, even dissipates the extra weight. Letting yourself and any area within your own consciousness, your own mind that says, but I'm not free there. Well, imagine what it would feel like to be free there. Maybe some of you are saying, well, I'm not financially free. I've never been. I've always been in debt, or I've always been in lack. Well, that's the reason. The vibration has not been in the vibration of what it feels like to be free in that particular area. But the freedom doesn't come when you lose the weight. How many times have you all lost weight and thought, I'll feel better when I get to this weight, and you get to that weight, and then you either want to lose more or do more. You just still haven't reached that pinnacle, because the pinnacle exists inside of each of you. You have the ability to conjure up, to connect with, to align. Many ways of describing it. But to be one with, not absent from, what you do want to experience. Life, yes, as a human being, it has those moments of contrast. The emotions that you don't want to feel, the people that disappoint you or betray you or hurt you, or any of the contrasting experiences. It could be political, it could be from other countries, it could be from your next door neighbor. Those contrasting experiences are there because that is what you have brought forth. Of course, not deliberately. Most of the time, it is not by deliberate creation. And this is why we are helping you become deliberate. You don't have to push against what you do not want. Most people are focused on, I want to do this so that I don't have to feel. We had a client one time in a workshop that said, well, I just want to make more money. We said, why? And she said, so I don't have to worry. So that's pushing against what you don't want. Well, if you didn't have to worry, how would you feel? Well, I would feel free. So you really want money so you can feel free. You have attached your freedom to this thing called money. So now go beyond the money and just go into the feeling of feeling free. Conjuring up that feeling, connecting. It's like you also, the clip of, if you want to create a relationship with someone, you have to invest your time. You think about that person. You are developing that relationship within yourself, and then you spend time and you get to know each other and you communicate and all of that. The biggest piece is the relationship inside of you, the relationship to the energy that is inside of that relationship. So you all have, whether it's positive or negative, a relationship with money. You have to. You're human. It's how you get stuff, how you pay for things. And let's face it, do you feel good about money? If you feel good and expanded by money, if you are appreciative of all that money brings to you, you most likely have money. If you are feeling that money is bad, or that you will be bad if you have it, or that you can have some but not a lot, and that if you have too much, then it takes from others. If you have your perspective of money based in the vibration of lack, that is what you experience in your outer reality. It is a spiritual truth. As above, so below. As within, so without. So as above, so below, expansive, loving, joy, freedom. If that exists, it exists for you too, because you are not disconnected. You are a connected being to the field and the energy stream of life, which is breathing you. And life can be what you make it, positive or negative, easy, hard, flowing or stuck. But all of that is within yourself. And we get it. We work with individuals all the time. We see where the stuckness happened. And Steve, like you were saying, not many people learn this when they were younger. They know how to process the disappointments or the frustrations or any of those blocks of energy. And then they create their life from those blocks of energy. If you feel blocked or stuck, let yourself invite in the energy of what it would feel like to be unstuck, to be unblocked. In other words, to feel free, to feel expanded.
Council, one thing I don't want to come in here, because we all have family members and friends. I have a family member, so a sister, that is stuck, that feels like, oh, these bad things keep happening to me, and I just can't get the job. I can't move. I can't, these things. And it's hard as her brother to see this and to know, oh my gosh, any suggestions for, family members or friends that get stuck like this, where they just they're under a dark cloud and it just keeps kind of staying hard?
Yes, dear. What you and Christy were talking about earlier is self-compassion. So track with us here. You witness your sister or anybody else that you care about, and they're stuck, or you see the potential for them, and you know what you know, but they don't know what you know, and they don't want to know what you know. They want to stay stuck. They like playing a victim. So how do you help them without rescuing them? Because rescuing a victim never works either. The rescuer always becomes the victim, because I've done and done and done, and I've given you advice and I've helped you, and nothing works. So you end up as the rescuer feeling nothing I did worked. Maybe there's something wrong with me. How come I can't help her? I've given her my best. So here's where the self-compassion comes in. Because you are witnessing someone you care about have a bad experience or a contrasting experience, letting yourself feel that nurturing, that warm blanket, like someone's handing you a warm cup of cocoa or warming you up next to a fire. It's very hard seeing my sister this way. This doesn't feel good. Letting yourself feel that compassion, not sorry for, because that brings you into victim, but that energy. Imagine a pink, nice rose-colored quartz energy, some like the image of Pepto-Bismol, just filling you up and embracing you. It's going to be okay. She's experiencing contrast. But by you holding her in compassion, not worry, you're holding a higher vibration for her. And it is then her free will and choice if she aligns with it or not. It's like any parent, when you think of your children, instead of thinking of how they make you mad or how they have this quality or that's bad, or they don't do this, or they don't clean their room, or they just or that, or this or that, seeing them, imagining them as the baby that they were and the joy that they had and the experience of your connection, fire that up again, because it gets a little lost with all the day-to-day things. Your partners, think about the first time you met him or her and the connection and the love and what you love to do together. All of that energy is still in you. And
Boy,
a lot of reasons why, dear one, like your sister and Christy's sister, for choosing their lot in life, they have showed you there is something opposite, and they are great teachers too.
I'm so glad I asked you that question, because I know for me and viewers, we all have people in our lives like this. And it's easy for ourselves to take control of this process and to reach into the quantum realm and to create. It's not easy, but we can do it. And we're responsible for doing it for ourselves. But for others, it's much more challenging. I love your process of just holding them in this compassion, this warm cup of cocoa, kind of feeling it with them and for them, and then of course we can't do it for them. Then they'll choose, but we're going to create the invitation and the space for them to start in this whole new direction if they so choose. That was beautiful, very helpful.
It's like good. Well, it's like the divine looking down at all of you. You all have free will and choice. So when you choose a higher vibration, when you choose to be disconnected, divine doesn't go there. Divine only holds you in a high space. Divine only goes to compassion. It will not go lower. So if you dedicate yourself to feeling what doesn't feel good, so you release it, we're not saying suppress it or ignore it, feel it, but then feel the worry, for example, with your sister. Feel it so it's cleared out of your field, and then come back into a place of compassion, and then hold your sister in compassion. We are understanding time is running down, so we just want to remind each of you that we are surrounding all of you in light, and that each of you are infinitely loved. Be
beautiful.
well.
Oh, thank you so much, Council. Yeah, and Christy Whitman is coming back in here as we wrap up this hour-long program. I told you the hour is going to go fast. Oh my goodness, and it has gone fast. Yeah, wow. So the Council, Christy Whitman, thank you. Right? Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what a fabulous hour it has been. Thank you for being with us. So a new kind of power. Let me just go through these 3 programs again. A new kind of power, attracting your ideal partner, creating money. These are 3 of the programs. There's 16 on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. Check them out. Christy is a true master in all of this. Your website, Christy, for people that are unfamiliar with your work.
Yes, you go to ChristyWhitman.com. I'd recommend that everybody go to WatchYourWords.com, because you're going to get 30 days of videos that are just 2 minutes each that will teach you what not to say, why, and what to say instead. So if you're wondering, okay, how do I apply this information? Start with your words. If your words that you're saying don't feel good, shift them and change them, because everything sparks from the word.
Okay, beautiful. WatchYourWords.com. So Christy, thank you so much. Look forward to having you back again soon.
Thank you.
I want to thank viewers. Thank you for hanging out with us for an hour. Wow, what an hour it's been. We're going to pull the camera back. We've got Jim Gray here in the studio that is managing this whole live thing. And so that's me on the couch. That's Jim over there. Jim, thank you. What a fantastic hour it's been. Also, I want to thank Nanette Kennedy and Andy Guski, Dee Meyer, Garth Catterall, so all of my partners and colleagues in Humanities team that make these programs possible. Thank you. Viewers, have a fabulous week, a conscious week. Let's all stretch into it here. And hey, make conscious living pervasive in our household right now. Yes, in the world in 2040. Okay, thanks everybody. Look forward to being back with you live here next week. Thanks so much. And in the studio, hey, just shout out, I can see all of you guys from Humanity Stream Plus there on camera. So hey, big shout out to all of you. Thanks for being here with us. See you next week. Love and peace and blessings, everybody.